Hi everyone, my name's Electric Donkey and today we're back on the No Man's Sky type project we're going. So in the last video we kind of started, we did end up doing some saving to do with where our player is in the world, and we've also previously done the saving on this actual planet. So that's all well and good, but our planets are looking a little bit empty, a little bit bare. There's not that much there really. We've got this massive open space of pretty much nothingness. So we're going to make a little object today, and the object is going to be object, and we'll call it Galaxy Gen, because what this is going to do is this is going to generate our galaxy. It's going to generate a galaxy. It's not going to save to start with, but we will later on add saving in. So what it's going to do is make we've got our world. If we go into rooms, room 1, but it's going to use all this but without having these objects in start. It's just going to have objects Galaxy Gen, which we put in now, and it's going to create a whole galaxy worth of planets. So it'll be pretty cool, I think. So first thing we're going to do is make a create event, and we're going to put in some kind of code. So we're going to set up some variables. Now, first one we're going to want is the amount of planets. So we're going to say amount equals, and we'll say to start with 10. We might need more, we might need less. We're then going to set up another one, which is going to call space between, and we'll say 20. So what we're going to say is the amount of planets that we're going to have in a room, and 20 is the minimum space between the two. Okay, that's all well and good. It's time to make the actual randomization factor. So, step event, normal step event, drag a bit of code over. We're going to randomize some planets. How are we going to randomize planets? Well, we're going to say for y equals 0, I is less than amount I plus plus. There we go, normal for loop. Basically just looping through the amount of planets we have, and it's going to create some in random locations. So we're going to say var ran x equals irandom room width. I'm going to say var ran y equals irandom room height. So we're going to create some random x and y's for this thing, and then we're going to say instance create ran x ran y, and the object is going to be object planets. However, before we do this, we want to make an if statement. So we're going to say if point distance, and we're going to say ran x ran y object planets dot x object planets dot y is greater, yep, than space between. Then we're going to create let's full screen this so we can see it better. Right, so we're creating a random x, a random y, and then we're saying if the distance is more than the space between needed, between what we've created as our random x and our current planets, then we're going to create it. Otherwise we need an else we're going to create a new one of these, and basically we want to just keep going. So we might put a while loop. So to do this, we're going to say var pass equals true. And say while pass, put this all in a while loop, and then in fact we don't need this, we'll just say that pass equals false. So let me explain to you what's actually going on here and the importance of each bit. So we're first of all looping through for the amount that we have, then we're saying we're creating a random x, we're creating a random y, and then we're creating a pass variable. Now it's defaultly set to true. While pass is true, it's going to check to see whether the x we've created, actually we need to move that into, and it's going there, because it's then creating random x, random y, saying if those random x and random y are in the right distance apart from our current planets, then we're going to create a instance and we're going to break from the loop. Otherwise we're just going to keep going until it works. And yeah, it's kind of like a nice little thing to do. We've put it in the room already, so technically speaking, if we get rid of these and we boot up the world, it should work. It might be a bit weird, we might have some on the corners, some on the sides, but we'll have to see. Or alternatively, yes, we also need to remember that for the very first time we loop through this, there is not going to be an object planet, so we're also going to say if object exists object planets, then we're going to do the whole checks and everything. Otherwise, if it doesn't exist, then we know that it's got to be the right distance apart because there is no other ones made, and we're just going to whack that in. So we're just going to create it and then break from the while loop. Let's give that a go. Still not finding it. Object planets. So if objects exist, that's weird. I mean, technically, right, let's change this. We'll say if I equals 0, so that'll be the very first loop, just in case it's the object exists that's causing the problem, possibly. No, still not finding the thing. Right, let's try it again, but let's actually just add one planet in, just like that. So it will have 11 planets in a room, but we just got one to start with. Whoa, they're multiplying like crazy. Right, let's shut that down before it gets too mad. What is going on there then? Let's see. I think it's the while loop, to be honest. I normally don't work with while loops, but might be why. Because it's looping 10 times, but then while pass equals true. What if we get rid of the while loop? And technically we will, well, this could work actually, because it means it won't create any within the, but no, instead it's doing that. It's still creating them almost infinitely. Right, let's try reintroducing that. I'm not sure why. The only other thing I could think is that maybe the object planets is causing it. Each one of these is still working, just not very well. Instance create. Well, let's drop that. Let's drop that. Let's drop the for loop, and let's drop that. So technically now there is no looping whatsoever. It's no looping, so it should only create the one. But no, it's still multiplying. Ah. I know exactly what's happened here. Let's reintroduce these. Reintroduce that, reintroduce that, reintroduce that, reintroduce that, reintroduce that, reintroduce that. I'm incredibly stupid. I've put it in a step event, haven't I? I mean to put it in the create event. So, like that. So it's got to be, make sure it's underneath the setups and variables, but it's got to be after that. Just like the world gen is also there, like that. Yeah, it needs to be in that, otherwise it'll just, every single step it will create some new ones. Okay, so if we go around we can see they were randomly generated in. And yeah, if we come back out, they're all again randomly generated. We'll work on saving them, but for the time that works. Now let's just try something a little bit different. Let's attempt to make the distance a bit bigger. So let's put 200. So we shouldn't see as many realistically. There should be much more sparse. And yeah, you can see they're all quite spaced apart. That one's a bit close, but probably about right. So you can see you could play around with these variables. You could add like loads of planets, and you could add 100 planets in. It wouldn't work in this size room because it wouldn't be enough spaces physically it could fit. So yeah, you'd end up with that. But I think for the time being, we'll stick with 10. Go with that, and 20. The space between. I'm not entirely sure the space between is working, but for the time being we'll leave it at that. We've got random world generation now. It's looking a little bit more interesting out there. In the next video we'll actually save that so that it flows more smoothly. So we've got random world thing, but only when you first load it up. But for the moment we've added randomization. I think that's pretty alright, so I'm going to leave it there. So if you like the video, remember to like, subscribe, or just do what you guys want to do, and I will talk to you in the next one.